Every 21st of November, Venice celebrates the festival of the Madonna della Salute. In the 17th century, Venice had a big bubonic plague that killed around 80,000 people in Venice city center and 600,000 people in the rest of the Republic of Venice in the northeast of Italy. In 1630, the Patriarch of Venice decided as a vow to build a big church dedicated to the Virgin Mary for bringing the plague to an end. 50 years later, the church was finished and inaugurated on the 21st of November. And from that on, every year, all Venetian people, they meet at this church to commemorate the end of the plague and to pray for good health for everyone. Like many others in Italy, the festival is connected to the preparation of a special dish. In this case, today, we will prepare the Castradina. The Castradina is a piece of a mutton, normally a leg, dried and preserved with herbs and spices, especially juniper, rosemary, and pepper. So, but why this dish, the Castradina? The story, in my opinion, is very interesting. At that time, in this literally locked down Venice, it was very difficult to provide food because no food vendors could come to the islands from the mainland. A little fishing was permitted and a little farming was permitted, especially in the northern side of the lagoon. But the food that was really missing was meat. So someone came up with the idea of importing meat by sea. That was a safe method to provide food to the islands without coming into contact with the disease and the sick people. The meat arrived from Dalmatia, which is a region of the current day Croatia, on the other side of the Adriatic Sea. The meat arrived by sailing boats, and then it was left on safe, uninhabited places of the islands of the lagoon, and with no contact between people, so in a safe way, it was then collected and brought to the houses. This cured meat was then rinsed, boiled for a long time, and cooked together with vegetables, especially cabbage, to make a hearty soup. This dish, which has a strong and rustic flavor, Central European flavor, is still consumed in Venice on the 21st of November to commemorate the end of the plague and as a sign of gratitude to the Dalmatians for providing the city with food on that terrible year. So here we are finally ready to prepare our dish, Castradina. Our ingredients are the mutton leg, onions, cabbage, and I'll add also a couple of carrots to make the dish more colorful. The water is already boiling, so now we will boil the Castradina into the water. The first time we will throw the water away after a few minutes. The second time we will boil the Castradina. We will keep the stock to prepare our soup later. Since it's very difficult to find the mutton preserved with the spices and herbs, we will prepare it today together. So here we have the mutton leg, salt, juniper, pepper, sage leaves, and rosemary leaves. Now we start chopping finely the rosemary leaves and the sage leaves. With the mortar, we will reduce the juniper. And add it to the leaves. We do the same with the pepper. And then we'll add some salt. Done. Now that pepper, juniper, salt, rosemary and sage are nicely chopped, we put a film on our table, distribute some of the herbs and spices to cover the meat. And continue covering it. Also here. Okay. Now we close the film with all the herbs inside and put it into the refrigerator for a couple of days. So the meat will be marinated. Now the Castradina is boiling, and while the Castradina boils, it will have to boil around 20 minutes. We will start chopping the other ingredients to prepare our soup. So let's start with the onions. So now we will have to peel and cut 2 carrots in pieces. We're not going to throw away the green. We will chop it and add it to the soup. So we're not going to waste food. So the last ingredient we have to cut is the cabbage. Our vegetables are ready and we will now rinse the cabbage. It has been now boiling for 20 minutes. We now take it out from the pot. Throw this stock away because it's too spicy and greasy. And then we will prepare some new boiling water. And we will boil the mutton for 20 minutes more. When we boil the mutton for the second time, remember to keep the stock that will be used to prepare our soup later. Briefly put some new water to boil it for the second time. Now the meat has been boiling for the second time. The first time we've been throwing the water away. This time we will keep the stock because it's very good and tasty for preparing our soup. So the meat is ready, we take it out from the pan. And we need to filter the stock because all the herbs are inside. Before using the stock, please taste it because it might be too salty. And in case, you can add some water to the stock. So this one is okay. So now we start cooking. We put some olive oil in our pan. We put the onions. After a few minutes, we add the carrots and in the end the cabbage. We cover, let them cook for a while and then start adding the mutton stock. Now we are ready to add the meat in our soup and then we'll add the stock. After chopping the meat in small pieces, remember to check if there are bones inside and throw them away. So now the cabbage has been softened, so we can now add the meat we've been cutting before. And then the stock. So our soup is going. It will take 1 or 2 hours. The meat must be very soft. So after 2 hours more or less, let's see if the soup is ready. It's very well melted and the meat seems very soft. Now we are ready to taste our soup and to check if it's ready. The meat is very soft, the cabbage is well melted, and the stock is very tasty. We didn't even add any salt, and it's very good. Enjoy it.